They say that we're used to the harshness. If it wasn't for the pain, I'd laugh. Truth is we knew about light before dark. Turned music to art and taught everyone to dance. And still no chance. Freedom must be too much to ask. Bleeding from the ache in my heart. Sometimes I wish it was whites in the middle like France. No, I'm not racist, just jarred. Got hate before bush, not plants. They say we should leave it all in the past, but my brother's still dying on the end, so I can't. So if my attitude stinks, don't ask, cause a hashtag won't help you understand my stance. Fuck a melody, this is real rap if you ever see. Head hot, cause the system won't let me be. Tell me how I thrive in a place that don't cherish me. And they wonder why we all need therapy. Pre the energy, just another nigga to Penelope. And they don't get it how we bottom of the barrel and still drip sauce on the world, no recipe. Weight of the world on my shoulders. All the pressures in life still tightly holding. We pour libation for all of the fallen soldiers, but the pain still goes unspoken. They want us to stay broken, never gonna fold, fuck folding. I see my people lost hope, shit, don't you know we all been chosen.
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Forgive me if you don't understand. Sorry, I'm just misunderstood. Punished if I try to take a stand. Meanwhile, my friends dying in the hood. And you can say that we're killing ourselves, but truth is they're killing us still. How you saying Black Lives Matter, but never took a moment to help? Just a trend that you post for yourself. And yeah, it takes a toll on my health, cause I want wealth like everyone else. But it's 10 times harder for me. And they wonder why my brothers put food on a scale. Yeah, when I die I'll see heaven, that's real. Cause we already living in hell. Wish I could share all the pain I felt. Oh well, I guess I won't speak till my scars do heal. I just wanna be black with a meal. Yeah, that's for every time I had no meals. Cause my mother couldn't keep up the bills. With a handful of kids, no home, just a cell. And I don't care if conscious don't sell. Knowledge brings height to an elf. Went from sitting on thrones to a cell. Been blessed, man, it wasn't by chance we fell. Weight of the world on my shoulders. All the pressures in life still tightly holding. We pour libation for all of the fallen soldiers, but the pain still goes unspoken. They want us to stay broken, never gonna fold, fuck folding. I see my people lost hope, shit, don't you know we all been chosen.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Yeah, this is real life. Kaa kimya skia. Real talk. We're coming from the ghetto. Kinondoni, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania mpaka UK. The world finest. Yeah, pambana kijana. Life is too hard, life is too short. Shaa kwa nangu cha ghetto. Usikate tamaa. Jua kwamba ipo siku tutatoboa. Tutatoka. Gang for life.
Blessed love. Blessed love. Don't even ask me what's happened on the technicals with that one. Hold on. Can you guys hear me now? Blessed love, people. Are we still playing? My whole screen is frozen on the
preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them.
Right. Can you guys hear me? Put up a 1 if you can hear me. Do not ask me what manner of technical difficulty has just gone down, but it's gone down. Oh my goodness. The whole of my other screen, which I delivered the intro from, is just frozen. I can't even do anything about it right now. Hold on, guys. Right, let me just take that off. That is crazy. I can't even see it on this screen. Right. Let me get you guys on. Blessed love, blessed love, blessed love, people. Let me just transfer this. I think this will help a bit. Yes, it would. Okay, great. This is why we have two screens. Do not ask me what's going on here. I think it might have unfrozen now. That wasn't very helpful. Oh, that color blue suits me. Thank you very much, my sister or brother, whoever that is. So, guys, that's just messed me up a little bit. My lighting's gone off because I'm positioned in a different place, but this is my backup monitor. Blessed love, guys. Hasn't it been a wonderful, 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 wonderful day? I love it when spring breaks out and the weather comes like this, when we get the first glow of summer, albeit they might take it back from us next week, but we get the first glow of summer and I absolutely love it. So, guys, let me first of all update you. So it's crazy. I put out a video earlier on YouTube. Yep. And I announced that the troll page on TikTok had gone down, but actually it hasn't gone down, people. It really hasn't gone down. It's just the usual games that they play. Because I remember on that Claire Kennedy page, they always used to take it down and pretend it had gone down, then put it back up. And I did think to myself, blessed love, Grandma Liz, love, peace and unity. I see you there. Hurricane Toya, I know you're in here somewhere, even though I can't see you right now. God knows what, my whole computer's just messed up here. I prefer to broadcast from this one because of where I've got it positioned, but I'm going to have to reboot it. Yes, and I'm going to go dark for a hot minute. Wait, guys. Crazy. They're technicals. I'm going to get it sorted one day, I promise you. I promise you that I'll be getting it sorted one day. It's just the time, you know, and because my head ain't really in it, all of that. Blessed love, all the regulars as well. Because my head ain't really in those zones, you know. It's pretty hard for me to make that a priority, although it is a priority, because we have to up our game, don't we, in terms of how we present to the people. We live in a visual epoch. None of us can get away from it, although I don't see those things as being important, or certainly not more important than the message. But we live in a visual epoch, and unfortunately, if you want to reach the masses, you've got to look good, because, you know, we're all kind of soaked with social media, as it were. That's what's going on for us right now, people. Yes, indeed. Yeah, people are saying that certain people are not behind that troll page, but actually we think that they are at least in touch with that troll page, and to me that's the same difference. Whether they're the originators of it is questionable, Gregory. But as I said before, we don't know that. In fact, we know the originators of that, and no, not necessarily an originator, but we also don't know if that they were around the originator, because they're very much heavily involved with a couple of people that are on that page, or that are the originators of that page. Come on, you stupid machine. Yeah, so in answer to your question, Gregory, which I've just seen your comment. Oh, here we go. All right, good to go. Sorry guys, 1 second. Honestly, what is this? I need all of that. Right, that's much better, is that not, people? So look, at the end of the day, a bit washed out there. At the end of the day, nobody really knows for sure. This is awful lighting. I don't know what is going on here. Honestly, something is very, very wrong. 1 second, guys. Don't ask me what's happening. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Look, the bottom line is, today, I didn't put anything out on Instagram as such, because I actually wasn't going to have a live today. I was going to knock it on the head. There's lots going on. It's a beautiful weekend, and I need to not be here. So tonight. So I wasn't actually going to go on. And there was a couple of stories that I, was in the pipeline that could have been presented, but I wasn't going to go on. But unfortunately, I felt driven to do that. I'm not going to be on for long tonight, guys. Very, very short indeed. Probably about half an hour, if that. But I had to come on because of what happened to baby Afua yesterday. Can you imagine? My baby is coming home from training, She's an athlete. She's coming home from training. she sees her friends in the park. The friends being, she was actually walking with one of her friends from school. And this friend of hers saw my neighbour's children, which is a boy and a girl. The girl is 13, my daughter's 14, so is her friend. So 2 14-year-old girls and a 13-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy, which is my neighbour's son. It's my neighbour's son and daughter. We live across the road from each other. The kids all mix and know each other, right? So they've seen the neighbours in the park. My daughter's gone over to them. They're giving this guy directions because they're kind of a bit green, those neighbours' children. They don't, they're not baby Afua, who's kind of clued up about these things. So this man had come up to them and had stopped them and asked them for directions. And he's got his penis out, hanging through the zipper in his jeans, while he's asking these two children, a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old, who I must say are very green type of children, and he's asking them for directions. What the hell? Now, he's got a phone in his hand, and this poor little girl, my poor little neighbour's child, has got her phone out and given him directions because she's just frozen. She doesn't know what to do. Anyway, along comes baby Afua and her friend from school, who, dare I say, that particular friend is, relatively seasoned. What can we say? We don't choose our children's friends, but we do advise. And she's one of the girls that I've kind of advised Miracle, look, have her as your friend if you want to, but don't take that one too seriously because, she's a bit too clued up. So anyway, glad that they were, because they went over and baby Afua at first thought that he didn't know. That was her first reaction, was that, oh my God, his flies are undone and he doesn't actually know. The innocence of a child. So she's saying to him, excuse me, mate, your flies are undone. He's suddenly saying, no English, no English. No English. Even though you'd previously been asking for some sort of directions in English. And also, why would you have a phone out and approach some children asking for directions and give them the postcode? Because he gave them a postcode, which I discovered today is literally just up the road around the corner, and it's a row of shops. So we know that was fake, but that's what he did. You've got Google on your phone. You would know what you're doing. You wouldn't need to approach your children to ask them for this postcode, even though you have your phone out. So that's what he did. So when he went, no English, no English, my baby Afua starts to give him sign language. Excuse me, and she's doing it. You need to pull up your zip. He's ignoring her. At that point, she realizes what he is. He's a predator. So she goes on predator alert. First thing baby Afua does, she secretly, snaps him. As they do, these kids, they love a Snapchat, don't they? I'm like, couldn't you have done a longer video? It's like 10 seconds long for the Snapchat. But she snapped him, and I'm glad she did, because we got his face. And that was brilliant. It was a brilliant snap. So she snapped him, and then she tells them to run. So they run, and he tries to come after them and then gives up. That is exactly what happened. But, my poor neighbour's son, who's only 11, didn't need to see that. The girls didn't need to see that. I'm pretty sure it's the first time they've seen a grown man's penis. And it was horrendous, as far as I'm concerned. And the other girl involved as well from Miracle School, she's really turned over. So it's serious stuff. And it also, if you understand the pathology of an exhibitionist paedophile, you'll understand that this man is extremely, extremely dangerous indeed. The boldness of flashing. People, we've been sort of led to believe in this country that flashers are sort of, a little bit low key. They're not really that dangerous. In my day, they used to always be outside the primary school in a dirty Mac, opening it with nothing underneath and flashing at the children and waving their willy around. We used to stone them. We did in my primary school anyway. And the teachers would go, shoo, get away, you dirty man. And then they often would just be back the next day, and only if the bobby on the beat on his bicycle caught them would they really be arrested, And they were very prolific in our time. Every area had a flasher. Pretty much sure of that in our time. So, the onset of the internet, they've obviously gone online. Yeah, they've obviously gone online. And that's why we don't see them on the streets quite as much as we do. And that's why we have hunters and people like that. And incidentally, the hunters were down today. Me and Big James went around and we were patrolling the area and making sure we get the word out there about this man and getting his picture out there and stuff. So he's picked on the wrong person's pick me. Yeah. You know, this is a very tight, small area. And to be in that location where he was, you don't just happen upon that place, you know? He's a local. He's definitely local. So, yeah, we were around and putting it out in all the locality. And I made sure that I went into the park and where he did what he did. I went into the park and I found the local winos and the crack users, and I made sure I gave them what they needed to get as well in terms of information. And they assured me that when they see him, they're going to clap him up. I said to them, look, I'm not encouraging anything like that. I can't tell you what to do. Guy, nah, mate, he's a nonce. Clap him up. I was like, okay, cool. I'd rather you didn't. I'd rather you call the police. Now, we don't deal with police. I was like, okay, what can I say? As long as you see, you know, this guy is stopped, because he is dangerous. And if you understand, like I was saying, the pathology of a flasher, being bold enough to do that in broad daylight in front of God knows who and doesn't really care, you know, and to approach children in that way in broad daylight in, you know, a park on a sunny day, a sunny afternoon, evening, whatever, is pretty bold. You know, not all of them would do that. They'd rather do their things in the bushes. But this one does that. So that pathology where you're able to do that, and actually you're doing that as well in a crowded place, it shows me that the impulses that he's having, the paedophilic impulses, are heightened. And when they're in that state and it's heightened like that, there's no telling what they'll do. Will he grab a child next? Will he kidnap a child? We don't know his ideation, his fantasies, and what's going on for him. He's a dangerous guy. Not just a flasher. Flashers are dangerous because, you know, there is a connection. There's some research to suggest as well that there's a connection between paedophiles who flash and those who go on to kidnap a child and murder them, you know, and rape them. So we need to catch this guy. And yeah, he's picked on the wrong people's picnic, and he's way too close for comfort. It's literally, you know, if I were to drive there, it's literally a 1-minute drive from my location. So nah, not having it, not him. Let's have a little look at him in case you haven't seen the Instagram post who I'm talking about. I wish I knew his name. Where is it gone? Honestly, why should children have to lose their innocence on the roads like that? I mean, they're just going about their business, and this dirty piece of work has decided that he wants to ask some children directions with his things hanging out. And you know what you're doing. Like, what is wrong with these people? Let's have a quick look.
Okay. Yeah. My friend. Okay. Yeah. My friend.
Turrated. What's wrong with these people, man? But here's the character we're talking about. We did get a clear image of his face, the dirtiness. This little dirtiness, yes, sir. Look upon him. And apparently he's very short. Yeah. He's very, very short. He's not very tall at all. Apparently he was the same size as the girls and stuff like that. So for a man, that's pretty short. He's probably about 5'4", 5'5", which is very, very short indeed. Now he looks Asian to me. I was thinking, could he be a very dark-skinned Romani guy? There's, you know, a few of them in the area. It's a lot of Turkish and Cypriot people around. But he's a bit he's a bit dark for Turkish Cypriot, I would say. But you do get the odd one. Now, to me, he looks Southeast Asian to me. He looks Pakistani or Indian. And I do note from the original video, obviously I had to edit the video because we can't show those things live on anywhere. But yeah, he's definitely circumcised. And then looking at his coloring, his texture, and the fact that he's circumcised, I'm saying he's Muslim. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it, he's a Muslim guy, probably Pakistani, or he could be Afghani or something. Could be Bengali as well. Yeah, I say that as well, Rush 22. He's giving Pakistan or Bengali vibes. Absolutely he is. And then the circumcision. So to me, he's definitely a Muslim if he's been circumcised. With that extra colouring, you put it all together, it's probably a Muslim. Disgusting. What are you doing? But woe betide you. I'm hoping the police, are going to do what they say they did. They came, they visited the girls last night. They were really good, actually, to be fair. They're a little bit flimsy, a bit touchy-feely flimsy for me, for my tastes. But I guess they did what they had to do. And, they are young girls, so they had to make sure that they were okay and that they wanted to pursue it for themselves, which all of them do. So that's pretty cool. One of them got beaten, though. Because she was in the park and not supposed to be. What can I tell you? These kids, honestly, one of them got sent shop and then went and met the rest of them as they were, they all got their snaps and their phones. So one's coming from draining, one's coming from here, one's supposed to be at shop, and they've come through the park because it's a shortcut to many places and decided to have a little meet up. So one of them, yeah, she was in problems. But personally, I wouldn't have punished my child for that. It wasn't really her fault, although you did get catch in a place that you weren't supposed to be. The knock-on effect of these types of predators. But before I go, guys, I actually wanted to share something with you guys. I wanted to talk about the Justice for Cwecwe situation in South Africa. I believe that we should all be standing in international, global solidarity with this movement, and it isn't getting enough coverage abroad. I do have friends and partners in South Africa. I've been speaking to them all week. It is absolutely huge over there. And very few people have heard about it over here. Everybody I've spoken to who should be interested in something like that hasn't really heard about it. I did repost something on my Instagram, and hopefully that gets a bit of a word out there. But really, what are we doing as a people? We would rather stand up. And I'm not saying that Palestine doesn't deserve support. Of course, Palestinians deserve support. They are our brothers and sisters and they deserve support. I believe that. Because what is happening in that regime in Israel is absolutely despicable and should never, ever be allowed. So, yes, we should stand with them. But our brothers and sisters would rather prioritize standing for Palestine over things like what's going on in the Republic of Congo, supporting Burkina Faso, and now a movement like this with a little 7-year-old baby. Yeah, a 7-year-old baby. And if you see the little baby, oh, she's sweet. Not that that matters, but obviously that tugs your heartstrings. She's just a lovely little flower, as all children are. But the point is that she's waiting for her school transport. She's missed one bus for whatever reason. And yes, sign the petition. Thank you for that, Angor. Yeah, so she's missed come on, mate. She's missed one thing. She's missed one transport. They call it scholar transport over there, but school bus. She's missed one bus, that's gone. All the kids are gone. I suppose there's not a lot of people left in the school. There was some staff and a caretaker. She was told to sweep her classroom by the caretaker. And according to her mother, she fell asleep after she finished sweeping or whatever in this classroom. It appears that she might have been drugged. And for those of you that, don't know about Africa or have never been there and don't understand how it is out there, children are often asked to sweep classrooms and things like that. I was a bit shocked when I was in Tanzania. I mean, they take it a step further over there. In the sort of government schools, not the private, lovely international schools that my daughter went to, but in the government schools, firstly, they shaved all the girls' heads. So boys and girls have the same haircut. And secondly, every child has a satchel, as school children do, but they also carry a little tiny, those African brooms, the African broom, they all have it. And you see them walking on the road with this piece of equipment. And I had to ask when I first got there, why are these children carrying brooms? All of them. They said because they have to sweep the school. It's like, raw. Talk about two for the price of one. In any event, this little child was sweeping a classroom, fell asleep. It looks as if she may well have been drugged somehow. But eventually she was anally raped in the classroom. The school bus comes, she goes home. Her mother realizes something is wrong with her, but they're not quite sure what. Do you understand? At that stage, I think she goes to school the next day, and it's by the time she gets in the evening that this child can't walk and something is desperately wrong. So her mum checks her over. Now, please, mods, put up a trigger warning in the comments, please, because what mum describes next is horrible. It's horrible. Mum says she checked her child and unfortunately her anus was the size, and the mum uses the example of the inside of a toilet roll. That's how big it was. Oh my God. It was awful. So somebody had violently, anally raped this child. Yeah, at 7 years old. Jesus Christ, man. The size of a toilet roll. What the hell is going on with our people? Honestly, there's something touched me. It really did. So in any event, the police are called in. Mum calls the police, and then she reports it to the school as well. Now, this school is, if you know anything about South Africa's demographic and dynamics, this school is not Johannesburg. It's not the new South Africa. Nah, this is in the Cape. So when apartheid was ended, those who couldn't run and go to Europe and go to America and whatever, because they weren't about to be ruled by a so-called Kafa, which is Nelson Mandela taking over as president. A lot of them weren't having it. A lot of the white South African Boers who were very much for apartheid were not having it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of them were in the Cape and controlling the Cape anyway. So a lot of them ran to the Cape, those that didn't leave or went to other surrounding states or whatever, they went to the Cape. So the Cape has always been, post-apartheid, a stronghold of certain people. You understand? A bit like the Deep South in America. It's still a stronghold of the KKK. The Cape Town, the Cape Coast, is still a stronghold of these apartheid people. So the first thing that the principal, who is a Boer, who is definitely a Boer with that name, Pieter, whatever his bloody names. I forgot to upload his picture, actually. Let me try and do that as I'm speaking. They might well show him. Pietersay is his surname. I forget his first name. Jaco Pietersay, definitely a Boer. You know, the Boers' origins are in Holland. They are Dutch people, and that name is definitely a Dutch name. So he's a Boer. And if you know anything about that regime and you know all of what went down in apartheid times, you'll know that he would have been raised. Elon Musk vote them. Thank you, Bajabu. Yeah, those Boers, they are literally bred to believe that they are superior to black people, and they're bred in a certain way. And a man of his age, I would wager that he's not exactly very liberal. But in any event, he basically, when the mum reports it to him that this is what's happened at your school, he basically tries to discourage the mum from bringing a case because it's going to bring the school into disrepute. That's the first thing he does. Then when poor little, I can't do the click that they do in the, I can do the sa, but Cwecwe, I can't say her name, Cwecwe. You say it with a click, but her name's Cwecwe. She was in hospital fighting for her life. Because as you can imagine, the child would be fighting for her life. And he took the steps of expelling her. Can you imagine? First of all, you tried to discourage your mum. You're just not on board. And you've gone as far as to expel the baby from a fee-paying school? What? Then it goes further. All the staff that were on the premises at the time were held. The police investigators took swabs from them, you know, the usual type of swabs, to rule them out, which they did. But when it came on to Principal Pietersay, he refused to give a swab. Refused. Now, it's only in the last few days after that that his solicitors put out a letter that was published via a white, racist, right-wing Boer publication. interesting choice of rag to get your letter out. But the letter's from his solicitor, and it's basically pleading his innocence, trying to say that on the night, the day in question, he wasn't even near the campus. He was 2 kilometers up the road at the other campus. Even if you were, you could slip down. 2 kilometers ain't really that far, is it? It's about a mile and a bit. So who knows? But yeah, apparently he was there. And also, the only reason that he has refused a sample is because the officer who asked him for it made it clear to him that the mother had asked for the sample. So under South African law, if somebody else apart from the police requests this, he's not obliged to give one, because the police need to request it in order for him to be obliged to give it. And because they're not following procedure, he's not having that. He's not having them not follow procedure. So you're not following procedure. Why are you telling me the mother is asking for it? What? This is his argument why he's not giving a sample in a serious case with a 7-year-old child from the primary end of your international whatever independent school, and you're going on about protocols. Really? It's still a policeman asking you for it. Well, unless I'm a suspect, I ain't giving one. So you're not even cooperating. Even if you're not guilty of this crime, you are still one nasty piece of work, and you've shown no compassion, no empathy to this family, to the child who is a pupil at your school, or any of those things. You've shown nothing but disdain, and basically tried to also expel the child. So even if you're not guilty, but I think you're acting guilty, Mr. Pieterse, or whatever your name is. Let's have a look at a little report about the situation. Actually, I'm going to show some of that, because a lot of people haven't seen it, and I do feel the need to cover it, as I said. Let's have a look at that. Let's try and find it. Unbelievable. It just breaks my heart. And our children are put in school to be safe. Teachers and staff at school operate in loco parentis. They operate in absence of the parent. So they are the secondary parents in these schools. Why are our children not safe on the streets? Why are our children not safe in the schools? I don't know if you guys remember the Hampstead school children situation. Do you guys remember that? Quite a few years back? My God, that was profound. And that was going on at their school. Those 2 children who were just very gifted, 2 tiny children, 7 and 8 years old, or 8 and 9, I think, at the time. And they uncovered they whistle blew on a whole paedophile ring up in Barnet. And the way these people covered it up, do you remember that? Thank you, Sirleen B. It was absolutely unbelievable. It really blew out the place at the time. I was very, very interested in the story at the time, and I followed it very, very much indeed. It was terrible. It was terrible. So things go on in these schools, and we really need to do. The only thing we can do, we can't not send our children to school, but the only thing that we can do is to educate our children about what to do and how to act when these things are put upon them by their caregivers, their teachers. Because these people are attracted to these kinds of jobs. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Right, 1 second. Let me try and share a news report from South Africa. And we're going to be touching down in those places real soon. Got a lot going on. A lot going on. You guys will see the updates. But we definitely need to be interfacing with our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, in Africa. It's time that our people started thinking globally. Because touch one, touch all, what affects one affects all. We all have the same issues playing out. So we need to start getting it together. We really do. And these times are serious times, people. There's going to come a time when I stop talking about the pedos and the perpetrators and what's really going on around us. Because if we can't get that side of it together now, what's coming, let me tell you, we're never going to get it together. So we got to think of a different battle plan. And we've got to turn our sights to something else. Trust me. There's a lot coming on and a lot going on. One moment, people.
Public anger continues to mount over the handling.
Welcome back. So thousands of people, including activists and civil society, took to the streets across all provinces demanding justice for 7-year-old Cwecwe, who was raped at an Eastern Cape school. The pupil was molested allegedly at the school in Matadele in October last year while waiting for her transport back home. Her rape sparked outrage, marches, and a prolonged legal battle that has left her family shattered. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Fani Masemola has tasked the Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Investigations Unit to take over the case. Nobuhle Mudise brings us this story.
A hymn of sorrow and anger, voices heavy with grief, marching for justice that has yet to come. More than 5 months have passed since the alleged rape of a 7-year-old girl. The community refuses for her case to be forgotten. This sparked marches in the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng.
Why are you employing people who are fired in other provinces for molesting children at Eastern Cape? Utheni ningayenzi background check yootishara bafakayo eminyango yezikolo zabantwana bethu? Into yobana kahle kahle lo mntu usuka phi? We need this list of sex offenders ipapashwe ibe public knowledge because aba bantu bahlala phakathi kwethu.
In the Eastern Cape, the fight for justice has been met with delays. The case has dragged on since 2024, leaving many questioning whether justice will ever be served. And now, the very place meant to protect children, the school, has become a battleground. The school has been served with a notice to deregister, leaving learners displaced and uncertain about their future. The province's education MEC maintains that the principal of the school has been cited in SAPS records as a suspect in the case, and this compromises the safety of other pupils.
When this one has to go to the DNA test, he quickly ran to his own lawyers as a means of running away from the call from the investigations that have been done. So that's a misrepresentation of fact that the SAP records does not cite him as one of the suspects that has to be undergoing the DNA test.
While the child's family and community continue to demand justice, the principal has sought protection from AfriForum, further deepening the tensions in the case.
I would assume if the principal would diligently provide any help and any support to the parents for the cause of finding justice and also protecting the reputation, because you protect the reputation of the school by making sure that you clear the name of the school. So it gives us mixed emotions, and we are mad. Why does it seem like they're just pushing her away?
A letter from AfriForum's private prosecutions unit paints a different picture. It claims that police mishandled the investigation, fueling misinformation and placing undue scrutiny on the school's principal.
The police must know, do they have suspects or do they not have suspects? Make this known, because until they don't or do not, this air of suspicion is going to surround the principal. And we say there is absolutely no evidence to support the allegation that he is a suspect. The objective facts, which are verifiable and which the police have, do not support the claim.
The letter urges authorities to act swiftly and end what it calls a mockery of the criminal justice system. For Newsroom Africa on Channel 405, I'm Nobuhle Mudise.
Absolutely unbelievable. But here's the guy, Jacko Pietersay. I think that's how you say his name. This is the principal of the school, this boar. Yeah, this is he. And what's he playing at? What's he playing at? Follow the story, guys. Look it up on social media. Hashtag justice for Cwecwe, CWE, CWE. It's just unbelievable. You know, and it's not like it's not going on all over the planet, you know? It's not like it's not going on all over the planet, my people. It's really not. It really upset me, though. And it's the violence of it for me. It's the violence of it. But what I like about the people in the communities in South Africa, because it was across the country, huge demonstrations, massive, absolute thousands upon hundreds of thousands upon people, hundreds of thousands of people across Johannesburg, Zulu-Natal, the Cape, everywhere. The whole entire country has been taken up with it. And it isn't just black people, it's white South Africans as well. Everybody's coming together. That's the kind of momentum that we need to see in this country, particularly in the black community. And the way that the black South Africans, the Zulus and the Xhosa have come together to spearhead this call for action is really quite admirable. And we need that kind of, we need that kind of interest in this type of subject, because if you spoil the fruit, man, if you spoil the future, then you don't have one. It's really, really as simple as that. If you spoil the future, you really do not have one, you know? But yeah, look it up, hashtag justice for Cwecwe. It's a special thing. I think we should all get behind it and sign the petition, share it, share it, share it. That's how these things get international and global. And we need it to go as viral as possible. It's viral in South Africa and across the region at the moment, across Africa. It's touching the sides when it comes to the Western world. It's not even touching the sides, actually. 1 and 2 people who are interested in that type of thing know about it. They haven't got a clue about it in Jamaica. I've asked them. Yeah, it's crazy. We should be standing behind it. But guys, listen, I wanted to do 30 minutes today. I've actually done almost 42, 43. So let me put the link out if anyone wants to talk about the issues, because and what we can do actually as a community, we need to start talking. We need to start doing more. It isn't just about kind of showing up once a year. I'm loath to do a march this year. I want to do an event, not necessarily a march. And I want to actually do more stuff throughout the year in different locations, really put boots on the ground this year. I really, really need to put boots on the ground this year, honestly, because it's too much already. And the only way that we're going to really address these people is if we put boots on the ground. Yeah. And that's what it is, basically. So there's the link, as is traditional. Yeah. There's the link, people. This one's frozen again. I doubt anyone's going to jump on. Let's see. Maybe somebody wants to make some comments, whether or not it's about predators in our area and how we keep our children safe on the streets, or whether it's about justice for Cwecwe, you know, and how we can lend our support from the UK. But we're definitely going to be, I've got a line to speak to the mother, so I'm going to actually try and jump on with her at some point as well. It's not right. His Time Is Up definitely stands behind that campaign. Blessed love, Roro. Blessed love.
Hello, Afua.
Sorry, hello?
Hi.
Who's that?
Oh, this is me. I just wanted to come on just to, you know, speak about the situation. Yeah, basically my cousin sent me the link for this.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been on before. I don't know if you remember my voice.
I think I'm picking up on the voice, but you always put a different name slightly. I think I've picked up on the voice. How are you, my sister? You good?
Yeah, I'm a young sister. I've worked with,
I think
you
I
know.
picked up on the voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I heard about this story myself. I found out about it through a blog post on Instagram. And yeah, I'm just very shocked about what's happened, really. And yeah, there should definitely be some justice because of that. And the thing is, which is just so annoying, is that this situation has happened so many times, like around the world, and it's just not being reported. It's always going on, like, been noticed. And I feel like that's what people need to be aware. It shouldn't be a viral thing. It should be like, this is a continuous thing that has been going on. And I feel like it's now time to actually be putting in, and with the advance of technology especially, I don't know, obviously this was a calculated move, as you said, because as you said, Afua, you think that the girl was drugged, and then obviously there might not have been any CCTV cameras. So I feel like definitely with the advance of technology, there should definitely be installment of CCTV cameras, stuff like that, especially because it shows that there was no sense of security at all in this school for this young child, and it's absolutely disgusting.
I think there might have been some cameras. It doesn't cover the whole school, but they might be able to pick some. I think they were saying in one report that I was listening to that, that they're examining some of the CCTV footage to see what it brings out. But it's an interesting one. I'm definitely going to be following it closely. How can we send support, I suppose, is the natural question. How do we send support from our community to theirs? Because His Time Is Up is a community that campaigns and fights for the rights and the voices of children and certainly women. And this is a huge campaign, and this little girl does deserve justice. Even if it's always the way, because people say, oh, well, she's not the only one suffering, it's the only one that's happened to. But the universe always picks one story that highlights it to such a level that it's able to touch other people, and other people that are going through the same thing. So it seems that that's what Cwecwe's trouble is about. This is her testimony. This is what is going to come out of it, is that we need to see change. A bit like Stephen Lawrence,
Yeah, definitely.
Like Stephen Lawrence, that's what it feels
even even like my cousin was telling me this, and it's true. A lot of people, especially nowadays, are so selfish. It's just like, oh, that's not my issue. No, it's everyone's issue. People are so selfish nowadays. They be like, oh, well, it's all the way in South Africa. Like, there's not much I can do. Like, we know there's not much that we can do. But as long as we send support and we, network with each other in terms of finding out information, links that we can get in order to help, get justice for this young girl, it's needed. It's really needed. And
it's not hard, is it? People like to share videos with foolishness, and they share it far and wide. We just need to share. None of us are in South Africa, but we need to start thinking globally, and we need to share, and care enough. Just because it's in South Africa, why wouldn't we care? Yes, Angor, it did happen last October. Thank you for reminding me. It happened last October, and still nothing has been done. We're 5 months in, and still nothing has been done. This man's trying to suggest that she was violated the following day at a community party, which took place in the evening when her mum had actually discovered stuff before that. So there's a lot to be unpicked. There's a lot to be unraveled. But thank you, Roro. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you so much. Blessings, everyone. Thank you.
All right, my lovely. Bye. You stay blessed, okay?
You too. Bye.
All right. Blessed love. Yes, my brothers and sisters, absolutely disgusting. We will get behind that campaign. Look out for the bulletins on Instagram. I'm going to definitely be posting more about that and following it very, very closely indeed. We need to drum up as much support as we possibly can. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get Cwecwe's mum on. As I said, she's probably inundated over there in South Africa, but I have been able to speak to somebody that's close to her. In the Cape. I've got a friend in the Cape that was able to to do a few things. So let's see how that goes. Hopefully that happens. She's still dealing with a lot 5 months in, but she does definitely want to get the message out there. So guys, I will see you guys next week. Blessed love. We will be back here next week as always at 9 p.m. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend. It's said to be fair. We're going to have really, really good weather. It might not be as hot as today or as warm as today. It wasn't hot. As warm as today, but apparently it's going to be quite pleasant. So get out there. We've got Easter coming up. And hopefully this weather bears out and we can all have a great time and come out of the darkness. We're definitely out in the darkness, but we need some nice weather. Lord God, we need a decent summer, don't we? Because the last 2 summers has been rubbish. It's not been really great since COVID, I don't believe, yeah? Guys, take it easy, stay blessed, and I will catch you guys next week. Blessed love, blessed love.